Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello, Ian the Flynn. I am Kyle the Krause. How are you?
I am very much Flynn. Are you very much Krause?
Sure. We'll go with that. I don't know what that means. Actually,
Excellent.
I do know exactly what it means to be a Krause. So, yeah, I know exactly what that means. So, how are you? How are you, sir?
Good. I'm excited because we have new stock over the Bumble Comic Shop. That's at bumbleking.com under the Shops tab. In addition to new trades of Sonic the Hedgehog bad guys, there's also a coupon code running through all of June on all the My Little Pony related books. So that's the miniseries I wrote. That's the crossover with Transformers. If you are a Ponies fan and you want something written and signed by me, now is the opportune time. Head over to bumbleking.com, look under the Shops tab, and get yourself some good old comic-y signed goodness.
Yes. Go there. While you're listening to the show, put it on in the background and head on over to bumbleking.com. Grab you some comic books. Do it. Do it. And then listen to these questions and answers.
Indeed. If you want your question answered on the show, email us at bumblecast@yahoo.com, tweet to us at BumbleKast, comment on any of the YouTube videos. Do that anyway. We love the metrics. If you're a patron, please ask it in the Ask Q&A channel over on the Discord. If you want your question answered sooner rather than later, become a $5 patron over at patreon.com/BumbleKast. Send us $6. That's 2 coffees at coffee.com, ko-fi.com/BumbleKast. And do we have any other? We don't have our YouTube Plus thing going just yet, do we?
Not yet. No.
Okay, that'll come eventually.
Yeah, we're working on that. We're working on that. So.
If you would be so kind, make sure to check the Q&A master list over at bumbleking.com/BumbleKast and just do a quick Control F, see if your question has been answered yet. You don't have to have it worded perfectly. Just what is your favorite? And search, and you'll find that's been answered at least 300 times.
Sure. Why not? But, sometimes we still like to answer those. They're fun. They can be fun.
As a matter of fact, I just used it myself as we were prepping the show. It's like, I feel like I've answered this question recently. I went to the Q&A master list, and sure enough, going off of one keyword, I found pretty much the same question. So if it works for me, it can work for you. I'm not just the president of BumbleKast. I'm also a client.
Wow, amazing. See, we do
that ad is so old, nobody's going to get that reference.
Want to get the hair club for men? Is that what it is?
I think it was.
Are we in the hair club for men? I'm not.
No,
I have too much.
I have of the Flynns in this generation, I'm the one with the fullest head of hair, but it always grows in so fast and thick naturally that it kills me during the summer months. So I shave down my head, and everyone else kind of just glares at me. It's like, you got the hair, Gene.
Yeah.
Use it. It's like, but it's hot. Don't care.
I can't. My hair is just like a weed. It can't stop. It can't stop, won't stop. Just like Sonic. Anyway, enough talking about our freaking hair. Let's talk some freaking questions and answers from the priority folks over at patreon.com/BumbleKast and ko-fi.com/BumbleKast. Here's one from Scruffymatt. Imagine that one night, Iiuzaka-San kicks down your door, grabs you by the shirt, and says, "Ian, my child, we're making a fighting game starring only SEGA characters. It's like Super Smash Bros., except it's totally not Super Smash Bros. Also, I want you to decide on the character roster. Ask your friend Kyle to collaborate with you on this." And then he drops a smoke bomb and vanishes into the night. So which SEGA characters will be duking it out on the fields of honor, and who will fail to make the cut?
Okay, first off, Iiuzaka-San wouldn't come in that way. He would come in through the ceiling via ninja rope. Okay. He's too classy for smoke bombs. He would just kind of vanish with his little wood pipe sound in the background. Trust me. As for a Sonic Smash Brothers, I would want, number one, I would want it to avoid being too much of a Sonic fighting game.
Well, it's a Sega Smash Brothers. Not just Sonic.
Yeah. That's what. So there you go, right there. I'd want it to be a Sega Smash Brothers, not necessarily Sonic Smash Brothers with some Sega characters,
Sonic and Sega All-Stars, or just Sega All-Stars. Yes.
Yeah. For just to keep things even and to keep things fair, what I would like to see is from each franchise the principal male lead, the principal female lead, and then the primary antagonist villain. And you can kind of flip a coin on that, because who would be cooler, Eggman or Metal Sonic? Like, I'm looking at Skies of Arcadia because that's immediately where I go, of course. And it'd be Vice and Aka. I love Fina. She's great, but she's not really a fighting type. You could do some fun things with her. I mean, heaven knows, I certainly haven't written an entire game doc on a Smash Brothers Skies of Arcadia in my free time. That'd be silly. But you got your Vice, you got your Aka. Who would be the villain? Like Galcian? I mean, Ramirez really would be better, but he's not the villain. We could go on and on about this all day, every day. But that would be my initial approach. Principal male lead, principal female lead, principal antagonist, or, who wins out by the rule of cool. And then guest character Sega the Senshiro, because he has to be in the game.
Of course. So like a Golden Axe, you'd have Axe Battler and Tyrus Flare, I guess. Although, honestly, I like Gilius Thunderhead better than Axe Battler, but...
I think Gillies needs to come in first,
Yeah. And then, of course, you got Death Adder. And let's see. What else? How would you represent the racing games? I mean, they did literally Hornet for Fighters Megamix. So, there's precedent there, but it's tough.
I mean,
so I'm trying to think.
Maybe you get your sets of three. Maybe you have three, like, kind of your unique standoffs that wouldn't fit in otherwise. So you got your Sega Shinshiro, you've got your Hornet, and you get your third, whoever that would be.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another one. It was kind of like a one-off. I mean, I guess the guy from Space Harrier, because he's like the only character in the game other than all the monsters. So
yeah. Okay, I dig that.
That would be kind of like the third one. Then you'd have the two main characters from Alien Storm, Space Channel 5, of course. Streets of Rage it has huge depths of characters to be mined from. That's kind of difficult to narrow it down to just two. Yeah, just narrow it down to two. Same with Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter has tons of characters. So, I mean, there's no shortage of characters that would make it. It's just kind of hard. Some things might have to be just represented by stages, like, Outrun. That could be a stage.
I mean, you don't really have an antagonist from Burning Rangers. It's Fire. Fire is the antagonist.
Yeah. Burning Rangers would be a cool level, and you could have some of the characters in there too. So
sure. I mean, have two of the main. Like, you could choose your player character, right? So have those two, and then I don't know, either kind of the face of the game, or use that third spot as a buy-in for some other franchise.
Sure. Yeah. There's all sorts of possibilities here. Sega is just dropping the ball, as always, Sega has so many franchises they could pull from, and just kind of like, nope, we don't want those franchises. We don't like them.
And before people freak out, I'm not suggesting that you leave Tails and Knuckles by the wayside. I mean, come on now. It would basically be like Smash Brothers, because Mario has a huge representation in that roster. So Sonic would obviously get more than just the three, but let's focus on at least make an attempt to make it a Sega fighter.
Like we just have make sure there's at least a base roster, like a basic premise of making sure that at least there's at least the two main leads, and then a villain is represented. So yeah, I dig that idea. So that's a whole episode in and of itself, though, if we really wanted to go deep into it.
Oh my god. Who would you like to see in Sonic and Sega All-Star Smashers? Comment in the video below.
Yes, do it. Here's a question from Renard. I was rereading Mega Man number 53 recently and came to the grim realization that at some point before Mega Man 7, every Robot Master from Mega Man 1 would likely be decommissioned. This made me wonder, just when and how were you going to play this out? How would it affect Rock and Company? Do the Robot Masters just accept this without question? And how was it going to hit Rock when he witnessed Wily making off with Gutsman's deactivated body, fighting it as Gutsman G, and then probably destroying one of his longest-lasting family members for good? I truly adore the way you handled the existentialism in the Mega Man comic. I feel you perfectly managed to make the series a little bit more than Blue Robot Kid fights Old Man apologizes, repeat, without making it feel like it was forced in any way.
Thank you very much. I don't have a concrete answer for that because, one, it's been a long time, and two, I would have to have gone in and like really researched who got sidelined when. But I imagine that, I don't know, it would kind of depend on a case-by-case basis. Like maybe with Gutsman specifically, he could see it as retirement. You know, this is a good thing. He served his purpose and he's happily hanging it up. And there's a little bit of bittersweet sentiment there, but it's not like the other issue where some of the Wily bots stepped down and others decided to be reformatted. This would be, I had a good run, kid, and now I'm going to go spend the rest of my days idling in the museum. Cheers. And then, of course, there's the horrible, stealing and retrofitting and whatnot. And plenty of fun angst to be had there. But I don't have a concrete answer for you. It's just I would hopefully have the time to address it with enough attention that it warrants without having to just kind of like rush it or hand wave it. Or, maybe that's the bittersweet aspect of it too, is that, Rock finds out that Gutsman's already been retired. And when did this happen? Well, it was when you were busy fighting this thing over here. I never got a chance to say goodbye. There's lots of ways to pull at the heartstrings and make you sad about little boy robot who shoots old man.
I already am sad. How dare you? And you're just telling me about it. It's like, come on, man. Come on. I'm also just sad in general because I miss Mega Man so much, the comic.
We've had so many questions lately that I am sorely tempted to just write it anyway and put scripts out there and see if people want to just draw it for fun.
Yeah, I guess, but
that's probably not the professional thing to do.
I was gonna say, that seems like a lot of freaking work, dude. It would be cool, though. It would be cool.
I don't know. When I do have spare time, I'd rather do something that could be potentially constructive rather than write up yet another game dev doc that I'm never going to do because I have no skill. And I don't have enough money to be a producer, so... If anyone is running a small game company and they just want to throw money at me, I have ideas. You know how to contact me.
I thought there was one already doing that.
No. They had the idea. They just said, hey, you know how to do this sort of thing. I said, yes, okay. I do. And now we're making magic happen.
Yes.
But I can't talk anymore about it yet because we're still pre-alpha. So #knowing smile.
Oh, I was talking about Aether Studios, but you get a different one. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops. Another #knowing smile.
Uh-oh. Shout out to Aether Studios. Let's see. We got this question here from Diane W. On a previous BumbleKast, you stated that Knuckles wouldn't be allowed to use his Archie exclusive powers and abilities in IDW because, well, it's his Archie counterpart's abilities. Can he still use his other abilities, such as Massive Heat Knuckles Attack and Thunder Arrow, and his level up items like Shovel Claw and his Hammer Gloves in IDW?
Maybe? I'm not sure. We haven't tread those waters. Some I think would be easier to get approved than others. But I don't know. I think Thunder Arrow would be a harder sell just because it was a multiplayer / boss move from one game. I don't think he had it in battle.
I don't remember.
It's been so long since I even looked at that power set. But I mean, if it was in game, in theory, should be on the table. But my experience tells me that that's not always the case. So I don't know, maybe. I kind of like Knuckles being more of the martial artist brawler type. Giving them too many superpowers, I feels like it loses what Knuckles is.
Yeah. I like Knuckles as like a boxer. It's kind of seems like his thing. Makes sense. He's called Knuckles, literally. So, you know.
Now, there's certainly reasons why, like, maybe something menaces the Master Emerald, he hops on board and channels its power to do Thunder Arrow, but, I don't know.
What power? The Master Emerald does nothing!
Let's not go there again, please.
Please refer to previous episodes. Next question is from Scurvy Pirate Hog. This year not only marks Sonic's 30th, but also the 30th anniversary of Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik. Could you maybe just gush about him a little? How he's evolved, how he's the best Sonic villain, the perfect archenemy for Sonic, and just celebrate the mad genius we'd love to hate.
Funny you bring that up. There will be something kind of acknowledging that with the 30th anniversary special. I can't remember if it's in the regular edition or the special edition. Maybe it'll be for Free Comic Book Day. I can't remember now, but look forward to a Eggman's 30th story coming up from IDW. Not by me, but it's still fun. It's still a lot of fun. Anyway, Eggman is great. I freaking love Eggman. And while I used to be kind of one of the diehard Robotnik campers, I've kind of embraced Eggman. I feel like Eggman is such a bizarre name for such a bizarre man.
I think it's, eventually it just kind of grew on me, and I'm like, okay, I can get behind it.
Like, Robotnik is certainly more threatening from the outset. There's no argument there. But it's also not really who the character has become. Eggman is a showman. He's a circus master. He is on the stage 24/7 because he loves the attention and because he loves himself and all of his genius. He is an absolute ham. And Eggman is just kind of fitting. He is the Eggman. That who he am. He is the Eggman. He's got the master plan. And he's an absolute delight to write for because he's just so cathartically evil. I can have him say such horrible things that I would never get away with, not even in traffic, with my doors closed and windows up. And you'd love him for it. I can make him come up with such horribly dastardly things, and it's just fun because he's a man in chest-high waiter pants and a Michael Jackson jacket, and you just accept it. That's just who he is.
Yeah.
And sure, he looks like an utter goofball. He is a ball on stilts. But you also know that he will rip time and space to shreds. He will blow up planets. He will mercilessly off anyone in his way. And he will make you love him doing it because he's just that darn charismatic. He's just fun.
He's just, he's so entertaining. That's one of the things. Even like in the classic games, it really came across as him being just kind of this like larger than life guy who's just ridiculously intelligent and a bit of a showman. But it really came to a head starting off in Sonic Adventure when he was just like, they just went all in on him from that point on. It was just the big ham from that point on. And that's one of my favorite things is him in Sonic Colors. Just that really is him embracing that showman side of being like the carnival barker.
And I think a large part of it goes to Mike Pollock's performance.
Oh, yep, definitely.
He's had so long to wear that skin, and he finds that perfect balance of bombastic goof and honestly disturbingly angry man. So kudos to Mr. Pollock for his performance there.
Yeah, for sure. I think in terms of like character voices, I feel like Eggman / Robotnik has had the most consistently great voice casting in Sonic history. It's like between the main three I'm thinking of, well, four actually. It's just like It's all been perfect. Like even Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog was like, yes, I still love Long John Baldry. Just fantastic in that role. Just so good. And everybody who's ever voiced him really has been awesome. Sonic Underground notwithstanding, I wasn't a fan of his voice for that, but that could have also just been kind of a visual disconnect, because why does he sound different? Why does he sound totally different from different?
Shoot, what was the gentleman's name who did his voice in Sonic Adventure? But just
Dean Bristow. That's right.
Thank you so much. Like there's one line in the Sonic Adventure, particularly when he's escaping to the egg carrier, and he's cackling, and the way he says "Adieu, my friends," and turns it into a laugh, just lives rent free in my head. It is just so wonderfully maniacal and mocking and jovial. It's like, yes, that is quintessential Eggman. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, Dean Bristow was fantastic. But and then Mike Pollock has definitely picked up that torch and carried it. It's very they're both very good. Both very good. Yeah, we love Eggman, even though he's a huge jerk.
Oh, he's a monster, but that's why we love him.
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes that's really all you can do is love the monster. And then here's a question from Speedweed. So now I got something to ask about Mega Man, given a question that was asked a while back about the connection between Ramoon and the Star Droids. How do you feel about evil energy, the Robo-Enza virus, and even the Maverick virus possibly being related to each other? Or at least whatever is theorized anyway, given the similarities they share between each other, and what obscure lore exists about them as a whole. At least for the former of the three, anyway.
Oh, they've got to be connected.
Yeah.
They have to. Like, if another game came around and didn't acknowledge that, I would be, like, salty. Like, Dead Sea salty. You've got some mysterious energy that corrupts robots' functions. You have a virus that makes them go wild and spreads between them. You have Wily messing with both. We know he builds Zero, which is patient Zero, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
He is the vector for it. Of all the twists and turns and the weirdness and the gaps in the greater Mega Man lore, that is like the straightest line of points you can plot. It has to be. It has to be. Urgh.
Yeah. Once again, another game series that has so much potential, so many opportunities, and they're not doing anything with it. What? Hate it. I hate it, Ian.
I know. I had a taste of it. I had that modicum of control to be able to mold it into something a little more coherent. And now it is gone. Potentially gone forever. But if I were to just write these things and put it out there for public consumption, yes, glorified fanfic, that's the answer.
You know what I don't hate?
What's that?
I don't hate Hero of Light 13.
Oh, good, because they have a question.
Yes, they do. Happy Saturday, Ian and Kyle. Well, happy Saturday to you, Hero of Light 13. So we know that movie Sonic's powers can be extracted even from just one of his quills. My question is, could it be possible for Sonic to pull an All Might and willingly pass his powers on to somebody else if they were to ingest some of his DNA? Hopefully I didn't make that scenario too detailed to never be touched again.
Kyle, do you need me to explain that one for you?
I can kind of get it from context clues, but sure, yeah. Go for it.
Spoilers for those who haven't read or watched My Hero Academia, which you should because it's fantastic. But the Superman analog, All Might, is one in a line of heroes who have inherited the power from a precursor. And he offers his power to the powerless Deku to be his successor. And it's this incredibly poignant scene where, you know, this kid who grows up wanting to be a hero, but literally having no power and being a scrawny little waste of space, is told by his idol, the hero of heroes, that you can be a hero and I will help you. It's just, it gives me chills thinking about it. And then it undercuts it by him offering a hair and says, eat this. It's hilarious. But, and they actually follow up on that in interesting ways that I won't get into because that's not what the show is about and that would be super spoilery. But anyway, the idea being that, the hero passes on his powers willingly through some form of physical sacrifice, we'll say. And honestly, Hero of Light, I don't know. I have no idea how the movie people are going to be handling that. It's a new take on Sonic's powers, and they're definitely doing different things with the movie canon. So we'll just, I'm in the same boat as you guys. We're going to just have to sit back and wait and see how it do. Like, do Tails and Knuckles get Sonic-like speed because they take quills? Do they just naturally have that? Is that not going to ever be addressed again because they forget about it? I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
Personally,
who knows? Go ahead.
This is an aside. Let me be absolutely clear. I do not know if this is remotely accurate. I have no insight into the movie. I have no involvement in the movie. If anything like this happens to coincide, it is purely by coincidence. This is not a spoiler. This is not inside information. This is not a knowing smile. Okay, this is just pure fan speculation by me, not as a professional, but as a fan. All right?
Are we clear?
Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone?
I'm
Do not make this drama, okay? I will be mad.
I am clear.
I'm kind of hoping that since Robotnik took a quill at the end of the movie and now has a personal beef with Sonic, that will be like the power core to a Metal Sonic. That's how he builds a machine that can go toe-to-toe with Sonic.
Yeah.
That
would be cool. That would be cool.
I mean, whole reoccurring owl thing, the OVA has him copy his biodata, maybe. I mean, they're bringing in Tails and Knuckles. That's probably a lot to do, plus a Metal Sonic. I don't know. Maybe they'll pull a Godzilla versus King Kong and they do, the Sonic Knuckles brawl, and then Metal Sonic is the one in between that they team up against. I don't know. I'm just kind of excited. This is the weird thing, Kyle, is that it's a new Sonic product that I have no idea about.
Yeah.
I get to consume it like a regular consumer, and that's fun.
Yeah, I like it. I like the movie a lot. I have decent expectations of the second one. I'm not going to say high expectations because I don't want to, be disappointed. But I think they have a good base. They have a good basis to work from. So
I'm catching myself here. I inadvertently have been less than truthful. I do know things that are happening because of connections and work and such, but I don't know everything.
Right.
So that's why I'm making, I know I said that in the past. So that's why I'm being super, super clear on this. I do not know if this would actually happen. I'm not being coy. I literally am doing fan speculation here. And anything that I do know, I'm not even going to remotely hint at because that would be bad. So, You know what? We're just going to drop the topic because I'm going to get in trouble if I keep going.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on. Here's a question from Creative Name. Hello, Ian and Kyle. I've been thinking a lot about Sonic Spinball lately, and I've got to know from Ian himself. Is it canon to the classic continuity? Was it ever canon to any continuity? Is Mount Mobius called Mount Sonic's World now? Thanks, and best wishes. Mount Sonic's World. I love
it. As far as classic games are concerned, no, it is not canon. In terms of any canonicity, has it mattered in any other narrative? It was kind of adapted into the post-reboot narrative a little bit as a training sequence for the Freedom Fighters, but and I guess there was the one Spinball story in the
There was a
preview,
very early adaptation of Spinball.
Right. Because Hip and Hop were there.
Yeah, and that's like, this is super early. This is the cartoon era of the comics versus all the melodrama episodes. Yeah,
because they show up to court-martial Sonic, and it's like, oh, it's Hip and Hop from that special. I'm like, really? And I get that issue, and they're like one panel.
I think
and they don't even look the same.
I think it's it might be issue 6, or I think it's super early. Yeah, it's one of the issues I actually had. I still own it, I think. I got it in pretty rough shape, actually. It was an old... It was off a newsstand. It was an old back issue off a newsstand that was kind of rough. But I didn't care. It was Sonic. So I bought it. Or begged my mom to buy it. So... But that was it. And that was after I'd already started subscribing, but I missed like the first year, apparently. So, yeah. I still love Spinball. Is it a good game? No. But is it fun? Do I still like it? Yeah. I'm just weird.
It's a neat premise.
Well, yeah. Next question, and our final priority question this week comes to us courtesy of Andrew D. When do the new Classic Era comics take place? Since Sonic Mania Plus Encore Mode and Sonic Mania Adventures can't have both happened, which one did happen in the comics? Or perhaps some mishmash of both adventures happened? Is this an alternate past for the comic? Any insight into where this falls in the comics chronology, as well as what game adaptations have happened before them, would be great.
It happens in the Classic Era. The end.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
There was a time where I would really stress over this, and maybe it's the 15 years, but it's like, well, we'll say it's post-Mania. Okay? We'll put that out there, so, that's why Metal Sonic is around, because it's post-Mania. He's been rebuilt, he's back, and there you go. And we're not that concerned over its continuity.
Yeah. And that's fine. Because classic Sonic's continuity is paper thin anyway. You have a through line through Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and then that's it. So, I guess you could say through 1, 2, 3, and then Mania, but whatever. All right, let's take a break. We've had enough fun. Let's take a break for now, and we'll be back on the BumbleKast. All right, let's jump into the standard Q&A from Lucas R. Starting us off here. Is Sonic truly not allowed to outright lose? I
haven't tested that in a while, to be perfectly honest, because that's kind of just a given. There is a script that I'm waiting for notes back on that I guess kind of toes that line. And we'll see how that goes. But, no, I haven't actually tested that in a bit. It might be okay if Sonic just doesn't go down like a chump. I don't know. A lot of what I thought was, carrying over from before, I've been surprised has been met with more leniency. So it's hard to say with distinction. I mean, he's the hero. He's not going to lose pretty much any time anyway. But I don't know. Maybe that's something to toy with in future plans. We'll see.
Intriguing. And our next question is from Mohi Emo. Ian, I know this is reserved info, but I'm not sure if it's any more useful to keep it secret. So, what are the Ninja Clan's brides' real names?
Those were their real names.
Well,
that was their distinction. That was who they were.
Yeah, you did just kind of it ended up dropping sort of the bride of part, and just that became the rest became their names. Like Conquering Storm was, I don't know, she was always just referred to as Conquering Storm, wasn't she?
Sure. That's because you only have so much space on a page.
True.
Like Conquering Storm is just the truncated version of her full name and title, which is Bride of the Conquering Storm.
Yeah. Which is a freaking awesome name.
Yeah, it is. Too bad I can't use it anymore.
Yeah, I miss her. She was, I don't know, there was something about her. She was cool. Maybe it's the Lynx aspect. I don't know.
Well, Leah came up with a killer design for her. That goes a long way.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Here's a question from Cassidy J. Since Abyss is a squid and Mimic is a mimic octopus, and both octopi and squids can ink in real life, would that mean Abyss and Mimic have the ability to ink?
Maybe. One of the interesting notes we've gotten with Rough and Tumble is that we're not allowed to show them exuding any vapors or liquids because that's just too gross for the Sonic brand.
Okay.
And yet we have had them use their, inherent skunkiness. Well, Rough specifically. And that has come down to very clever word use and implication. Like when Rough had that stink bomb launcher, the design idea was that he pressed his tail to an intake fan, which would take the skunk odor, condense it into a liquefied format, and launch it as a concentrated, horrible water balloon. And it was okay only so long as we didn't explain how it worked. We didn't specify what exactly was going on. So, in theory, they would have inking ability, but I'm not quite sure how we would be able to portray it.
Yeah.
Mimic's already kind of broken power-wise, so he doesn't really need it, but I don't know.
Maybe. Anyway, no sweating or farting in Sonic comics, apparently. Or any other excretion of bodily things. Not allowed.
Fair, I don't want Rough and Tumble to turn into walking fart jokes. That is where I draw the line.
No.
But at the same time, they're skunks. Let's do something with it.
No stinky allowed. No smell. Nobody smells. Weird. Here's a question from Throwaway. Hello, my question for the BumbleKast regards Shadow in the IDW comics and modern Shadow in general. You've repeatedly stated that Shadow cares for nothing and or no one, not even his allies like Rouge or Omega, and it is shown in the comics and games that he does not care about saving innocent people and would rather let people die until he's basically forced to help, as seen in issue 36 and in Shadow the Hedgehog when the Black Arms invaded, just so he can beat up / fight the toughest enemy around. So I just wanted to ask, with how he is portrayed now, what differentiates him from just being a straight-up villain? As he feels much less like an anti-hero and more like a villain who only helps the heroes to benefit his own goals, rather than actually wanting to help people. Sorry if this seems overly negative, I just feel like Shadow's being portrayed as more and more villain-like. Keep up the amazing work, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much. And you're not wrong. That's kind of the problem I have with his current direction myself. But I think the distinction is he doesn't go out of his way to harm others for his benefit. I think that's the distinction. He doesn't, seek out strong heroes to fight. He doesn't victimize the innocent for personal gain. He just kind of lets them exist and they don't register on his radar. He directs all of his anger and violence strictly to powerful, villainous individuals. And in that regard, I guess that's where you make the anti-hero distinction, is that he does good things, but not necessarily for good reasons. Whereas a villain would do bad things for, good or bad reasons. Now we're getting into the semantics of the game. It's that he's not an antagonistic force to the innocent, I guess is to boil it down. He is just a force against the darkness. That he just happens to be equally dark. That's why he's a dark type and not an evil type. Look, I'm making these mental gymnastics for 15 years. I ain't always going to stick the landing.
Shadow. You should have stayed dead after SA2.
Seriously.
Anyway, here's a question from Michael B. No, not that Michael B. No, not that Michael B. either. The other Michael B.
Oh, that Michael B.
Yes, we have a few Michael B. We have a few Michael B's around here, so have to make that distinction.
I have a whole hive of Michael B's.
Bzzz. I see what you did there. Anyway, Kyle and Ian, what are your favorite songs in Sonic 1, CD 2, and Sonic & Knuckles? Did I say 3? I meant, yeah, 3's in there too. Should I start?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. There really isn't a bad song in any of them. I really like all the soundtracks, but gun to my head, you're going to force me to choose, I guess, maybe one from each. I might be able to do it. Maybe. Sonic 1, Starlight Zone. Sonic CD? Ooh, that one's hard. God, I always loved, in the Western version, I always loved Quartz Quadrant. Or Tidal Tempest. Man, one of those two. In the Japanese version, probably Stardust Speedway. Sonic 2. Ooh, Mystic Cave is up there. Mystic Cave is good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I also have a weird fondness for Hilltop that I don't think anybody else really shares. But yeah, I go with Mystic Cave. And then in Sonic 3, Hydro City Zone, obviously. Of course. And then in Sonic & Knuckles, the big boss theme. Not Doomsday. Not Doomsday. No, the final boss theme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that song's freaking metal.
Yeah.
metal as heck. Metal as heck. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that one.
Sonic 1, I'm with you on Starlight Zone. Honorable mention to Marble Zone.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a groovy track.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing wrong with Green Hill. I'm just sick of hearing it.
Yeah. That really is all it comes down to. Yeah.
CD, I'm not familiar enough with it to say. Like, I can't even distinguish between the Eastern and Western tracks. I don't know what's what, so I'm going to pass. Sonic 2, man.
It's hard.
Mystic Cave is really good. Casino Night.
Yeah. Chemical Plant, as overdone as it is still
good.
Still good.
Like, the only one that I'm not particularly fond of is the Death Egg track that you don't hear anyway because you immediately leave the hallway and it goes into the boss tracks.
I think it gets if you sit around and listen to it, it gets a little bit better. But yeah, it is a very strange theme.
It's creepy. Like, it creeps me out.
It is, and I think that's part of the whole point of it.
Sure, and I appreciate it for that. But yeah, it's not one of those tunes I want to groove to. It's like,
yeah,
nope.
Sky Chase is pretty chill. It's a nice, relaxing track, but it's not my favorite.
Sonic 3. See, I
hard.
3 and Knuckles together in my head so much.
It's so hard. It is hard to choose. It can be hard to choose unless, you know.
Sandopolis is great. Lava Reef is great. Sky Sanctuary might be the top of the pile. Doomsday Zone, just thinking about it gets me pumped. It's like you said, like there isn't really a bad song out of all of them. No.
Unless we're talking about the prototype tracks, in which case, yeah, Launch Base sucks. Ice Cap's not very good either. Carnival Night, though, that's pretty good. Not bad.
That one kind of got on my nerves, honestly. It felt a little too oppressive, which is the point. You know, it's a weaponized theme park. It's not supposed to be jolly, but it's just kind of manic.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just thinking of the damn barrel.
No, I'm the prototype version of it.
I actually haven't heard any of those, to be honest.
So. Oh, okay. They're very different. They're very much in line. They're a little bit more in line with the first 3 zones music, but not nearly as refined. So I don't know. Maybe those will be the songs we get in the upcoming collection. I guess we'll find out. So, but yeah, there's good ones. There's so many good ones. It's hard to choose. That's one of the main things about Sonic has been the consistency of the music. Almost always. More than anything, the music is what I think drives the franchise.
I mean, Sonic Chronicles is the only really notable bad one, and that's just because it's bad remixes of good tricks.
Yeah.
And by tricks, I mean tracks.
Sure, we'll go with that. All right, let's move on to the next question here from Rodimus Prime. Do either of you guys like Minecraft? If so, what are your favorite things to do in the game?
I do. I just get stuck in this perpetual loop of start a new world, build up the village, explore a bit, get overwhelmed with all of the things that I want to do and the size of my project, fall off of it, come back, don't remember where I was, start a new world, repeat.
I got into Minecraft for, I want to say, a few months when it was still just a Java game, when it was still in beta.
Oh, wow.
So way back. And
that's about when I started, I think.
Yeah, I was playing on the, I just was playing on the Overclocked Remix server. And I wanted to build a castle in the side of a mountain. So that's what I did. And then after I finished that, I'm like, well, I guess I beat this game. So I have not gone back to it since. Which I know that's not beating the game. I know that there's a lot more to do in Minecraft now, especially than back then. But still, it was like, well, I mean, I'm done with this. I'm pretty satisfied with it. So, yeah.
The furthest I ever played, like, legitimately, like, with a focus, was I managed to get to the Ender Dragon. And I wanted to go in as blind as possible, so I didn't do any research beforehand. And I got to it. I came in fully armed with all my diamond armor and sword and whatnot. Didn't have any enchantments. I didn't know how to do that yet. Of course, now I don't even know if they had that when I was playing. Anyway, I got to the Ender Dragon. It promptly knocked me straight off the edge of the island. I died. I woke up at home. All of the gear I crafted was gone. I was like, well, I'm done.
Yeah, it's I don't even know if the Nether existed when I was playing. It was that early. It was very early on. So, yeah, there definitely wasn't like a plot or anything, or at least missions or whatever it is now. I don't even know how Minecraft works now, really. Like, I know they've added a lot more things to do and more of a kind of a narrative structure to it to follow. But I was just kind of building stuff, and then
it's still very much that. It's still very much play your own game.
Sure.
You make the fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, I made my fun and I had fun with it, and that was that, I guess. So, but I appreciate Minecraft, and I'd like it. I liked playing it. It was fun. And I do very much appreciate what it is and what it has become in terms of like a educational tool and things like that. I think that's really cool. It's contributions to just, helping people learn in general. I think that's really cool. Here's a question from Boney Cheese. Question for both of you.
Come on, man. Why that name?
Want your cheese to have bones in it?
Yuck. Just ask the question. Come on.
Question for both of you. Who has the best rogues gallery in fiction? While some might say Batman or Spider-Man, I personally think the Ninja Turtles are a strong contender for the best. And on a side note, with the classic and modern split, classic really got the better end of the deal in terms of rogues, like the Hooligans, Battlebird Armada, Mecha Sonic, and Witch Carters. Just hope they actually use them.
I mean, you're definitely right. Classic does come out miles ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And which would you rather read, the Hooligans or the Deadly Six? It's coming from a guy who's about to write a 4-issue miniseries resolving the Deadly Six. But, anyway.
Are you allowed to mention that?
It's been solicited.
It has? Oh.
The first issue comes out next week, I think. Or no.
Okay.
If you're listening to this, I think it comes out this week.
Either I'm behind or I'm like my brain is fried. Anyway, go ahead.
But I mean, I think Batman and Spider-Man are pretty much it. Like, they're the first two that immediately come to mind. Like, I can name them off the top of my head. I can easily tell you, why they make for interesting rogues, why they are fun explorations of the characters, themes, and dynamics. If you go to another one, it's like Superman. He's got Lex Luthor and Metallo
and Zod. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. And this is very much the casual glance at it.
Flash has a pretty good rogues gallery, but I'm not nearly as familiar with all of them as the rest. But Flash has a pretty well fleshed out villain squad.
I'm just looking at this. Like, I know Superman has a staple of villains, and I know that there's a bajillion X-Men antagonists and what have you.
Of course, yeah.
It's just, what immediately springs to mind? What has made its mark in the pop culture zeitgeist? What is it that the average person on the street is going to be able to say, yeah, okay, I kind of know about the Green Gibbon or whoever it is on the Flying Bat. Sure, I know my Spider-Mans. But I don't know. Ninja Turtles, I have a hard time thinking of their rogues gallery just because it's like, which incarnation of the Turtles? Like, not everyone has Rocksteady and Bebop. Shredder is very different depending on which flavor of turtle you're going with. I mean, yeah, they've got a lot of reoccurring characters, but which incarnation are we talking about? I feel like they're harder to define. Like, the Turtles themselves are fairly immutable across iterations. Core ideas that get different interpretations, but in terms of their rogues gallery, I have a hard time thinking of it. And that's more me, maybe, but I don't know.
Their rogues gallery are more parodies of other comics villains, kind of, which makes sense because Ninja Turtles themselves are kind of a parody of the grimdark 80s era comics. So it makes some sense to have parodies of that, but I think there's some good ones in there. I mean, Baxter Stockman, he's always been kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, but which version are we talking about? The one who becomes a mutant fly? Or are we talking the one who becomes a cyborg and basically a living machine?
True.
With Leatherhead, are we talking about the hilarious Louisiana caricature, or are we talking about the very deep and tortured, I hesitate to call him villain in the IDW series?
Right.
That's what I'm having trouble with.
Yeah, I get it. I think the Ninja Turtles do have a very good rogues gallery. It's just they have so many different incarnations and variations on it that it's kind of hard to nail down compared to Batman and Spider-Man or even Flash for that matter. Sometimes the characters are so different, they're almost not even related. It's weird.
Now we're going to wrap it up with a question for you, Kyle.
Oh, boy.
This one comes from Dove. Hey, Kyle. You weren't a Pokemon kid, but were you a Digimon kid? If so, who was your favorite? If not, were you into any of the collectathon-style crazes in the 90s/early 2000s?
I hate to disappoint you, Dove. I was not into Digimon. I don't know anything about Digimon. I just know they're Digimon, digital monsters, and then that's it. What are the rest of the lyrics? I don't even remember right now. I just know
Digimon have more power. I don't know.
Digimon are the champions.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Something like that. I don't remember precisely. It's a very catchy theme song, but like the lyrics are evading me at the moment. So no, I was not into Digimon. But Was I in any of the other collectathon style crazes in that era? Not really. I had a Tamagotchi. Does that count? I had just one.
Yeah.
I know there were people who had like tons of them and were collecting tons of them, but that's the only one I remember like actually getting into in that time frame was having a Tamagotchi. It's the only thing I can really remember. I didn't get into any card games like Magic or Pokemon or anything. No, I don't know. I was a Mario and Sonic kid, man. That's what I played. That's what I did. That's what I enjoyed. Well, I'm sure I would enjoy Digimon. I mean, what? It's cool monsters fighting each other. I mean, I'm always into that. So, but yeah, I don't know. Were you in any of those crazes at the time, Ian?
Just Pokemon. I didn't follow Digimon because I wasn't as fond of the art style.
Mm-hmm.
And at a glance, I couldn't quite follow how their evolutions worked. And having looked at it again years later, I still don't understand how it works. I can't really think of any of the others that were big at the time.
Definitely was not into Beanie Babies.
We had a few because they were cute. We had my little brother was young enough at the time that, you know, stuffed animals made sense. My mom thought they were cute, but we were not like the avid collectors.
Yeah, no.
It was like, oh, we have a little bit of extra spending money and that one's cute. Okay.
When I'm remembering now, one thing I did kind of get into for a little bit was Pogs. I did like Pogs.
I wanted to be into Pogs so bad, but Mom wouldn't let me spend money on it.
Yeah, my mom, I had a small collection of Pogs. That's really it. Just a small tube of them, really. And I had some fun with that, you know, trading them around and stuff. But I wasn't super into collecting it, and it was definitely a fad that didn't last for very long. Yo-yos became a big deal for a little bit, too.
Yeah, they did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yo-yos are fun. I still like yo-yos, but I don't have one currently. I wish I did. They're just fun to play with because I have a hand fixation thing where I'm playing with stuff, and yo-yos were good for that.
I know I collected a certain line of X-Men cards for a bit, and I still have that binder.
I ended up with some X-Men cards too, weirdly. I also have a binder of NBA cards. They aren't worth anything. I've looked. None of them are worth anything. I don't have like a rookie Michael Jordan or anything, sadly. I don't have anything good. They're just kind of throwaways, which makes me sad. But, oh well, it's not a big deal. I wasn't going into them expecting any money anyway, but yeah.
What if my X-Men cards are worth anything? If you are a collector of X-Men cards and you want to buy them off me, please comment in the comments below.
I collected Sonic comics. Does that count?
Yeah.
That wasn't really a big craze though, really, unless you were a certain age at a certain time frame. I don't know. Oh well. I miss those days kind of. Sometimes. And then other times, you know, things are better now. Just kind of depends. Speaking of better things, I think it's time we move on to bigger and better things after this episode, because we're done.
We are, but before we sign off, a big thank you to all the patrons and Ko-fi donators who make this show possible. Your patronage is greatly appreciated. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Samuel P., Robotnik Holmes, Sam Cybercat, Mike B., Justin G., Torchbound, Coupling Crew 128, Duas Diz Din, Diane W., Andrew D., Scruffymatt, Chris A., Sony, John M., Bradley TT, Don B., Yami M., Salucha Cat, Sin Fritz, Lee HK, Lisa M., Chevelle, Noni, Silly String, Off, Dave M., Blue Title Gamer, J. Frost, Justin S. Paps, Tic Tac, Final Neil, Jib, Digama F. Wow, Hero of Light 13, Jonathan D. Rachel W. Godzilla, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Piggy Bank, Daniel B. PC the Unicorn, Dabbler the Dalek, Ryan D. Preston M. Dove, Speedweed, Red the Super Hammock, Jonathan W. Owen BD, Flixie, Chase L. Fernando G. Sapphire Scarletta, Turbo, Jonathan R. Crooker, Chad, Les, Lewis J. Renard Pixel, creative name, Scurvy Pirate Hog.
This list keeps getting longer and longer.
It does, and people keep kind of ducking in and out, so it's like I never get used to the cadence of it.
Yeah, you can't get used to it anymore because it's always different. It's not like back in the old days where you could just rattle it off in one breath.
Yeah.
Man. We have exploded in a good way.
We have, and thank you so much for joining us on this wild, crazy, barely directed ride.
Where are we going next? I don't know. We'll find out next week.
Well, for now, you can check me out on Twitter at IanFlynnBKC or my personal website, BumbleKing.com. You can also check out my web series, Drogoon.com. It's been on hiatus for a bit. Adam and I are looking at retooling things, so stay tuned. We will have news soonish.
Stay tuned for the spinoff, Dr. Ogun. You can find me on Twitter at KyleJCRB. You can also head on over to kngi.org. That's where you can find all the archived episodes of the BumbleKast in MP3 downloadable format. You can also find my other show, Nitro Game Injection. That streams live on Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. It's all about video game music and video game music remixes, arrangements, covers, and other fun fan-made stuff. So, and if you enjoy Sonic music, I do play a lot. So you should probably check it out.
Follow the show on Twitter at BumbleKast. Contact us at BumbleKast@yahoo.com. And listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, our YouTube channel, and kngi.org.
And, of course, hit up the Bumble store at shop.spreadshirt.com/BumbleStore. You can, in fact, still get your Knowing Smile mask over there. So do it. Do it now.
Also, check out BumbleKast Gaming Live, which streams on YouTube. That's youtube.com/BumbleKing videos, Sundays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes that changes. Sometimes we stream other times during the week. So make sure to follow us on Twitter at BumbleKast to find out of any of those changes.
Alrighty. Got anything else we want to get to and mention before we skedaddle, Ian?
Nope, I'm completely out of gas. So be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next week for more BumbleKast.
See you later. You may be out of gas, but I'm full of it. I'm always full of it.
Waka waka.
I'm always full of it. I'm being told no. Why no? Dove, I've been farting this whole time. You just didn't know. I didn't put the microphone in a place you could hear it. Off new, of course. This whole time. Have a drink real quick. As my voice cracks.
Joining me on the show is the man just now hitting puberty in his 30s, Kyle JCRB Krause.
My voice has always been like this. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I can start whittling things down and getting ahead. No. Here's a nice big expenditure. Get you good and back in debt even further. Because that's life. One step forward, 17 backwards tumble into the briar patch. Because nothing's simple. Life is just one long line of disappointments and frustrations. I'm having a day, Kyle. How about you?
I hear that. I'm doing all right. I'm okay.
I'm so glad.